Hello, my restless wanderers. It's Mad Hat's Cats back here again today. We're going to be working on Dormouse from Alice in Wonderland. So let's get settled and go through this video together. Firstly, why? I picked Dormouse for my next piece because they're a very important character for both me and my fiancé B. They told me that I could call them by their nickname here. Shh, surprise, I heckin' love them. The first thing that when B saw my pieces together was, where's Dormouse? And the reason why Dormouse wasn't included originally was because I needed 6. I didn't want 5, I didn't want 4. I wanted 6 to make the rows look nice in the Patreon tier presentation where they're all kind of laid out. So unfortunately, my fiancé, it's the last time I'm going to say that, I'm sorry. Last time, B, forgot what I was saying. I didn't want 9. I didn't want 9 tiers. I felt like 9 would be too overwhelming for both me as a new person on Patreon and for all of you guys coming into it. I felt it would be too overwhelming to start with 9. So 6 it was, and unfortunately Dormouse didn't make the cut, and then if I did Dormouse, I would also have to create 2 more tiers to go along with that, so I would have 9, so it would still look nice in the rows. It's not OCD, it's not anything like that, it's just something that would bother me if it wasn't like a complete row. And it's not like I didn't think of other tiers that could go with the Dormouse. You know, I thought of like the Card Soldiers or maybe the Jabberwocky, who from now on I'm just going to call Jabbers. Wonderland has many names that are a mouthful. The Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, the Jabberwocky, the Bander, just all nicknames all the time. So, secondly, why do they look a little bit sassy in this pose, you might ask? That, my friends, you can thank B and Tim Burton for. The original Disney's Alice in Wonderland had a Dormouse design that I didn't remember ever existing. I was actually looking for reference pictures for Dormouse's pose and was looking for like their outfits that they wore in the Tim Burton movie and discovered through a slew of official Disney merch enamel pins that the Dormouse actually appeared in the original Disney's Alice in Wonderland. I didn't know this. There's super cute merch out there for him. They have plushies, they have enamel pins. My favorite is the one where he's being suspended by his shirt from a teapot. Also, I apologize if you can hear my neighbors upstairs vacuuming. I want to get this video out, and I've tried recording several times. It's kind of a coping mechanism they have, where when they get into a fight with each other, one of them ends up vacuuming the whole apartment, and I don't got time for that. I gotta record a YouTube video. So here we are. So, sorry. But yeah, no, super cute merch. I'm just really sorry that, like, I don't remember the original Dormouse. Like, I feel like his character, compared to everyone else, was just sort of forgettable, and I'm sorry, all you Dormouse fans out there, it's not my fault, it's not Disney's fault, it's just how my brain works, and I can't help that. Clearly, Cheshire was my obsession for life, and that's fine. But I just like how Tim Burton took this tipsy, cute little creature and turned them into a complete boss. They made Dormouse into a sassy, knightly person who held themselves very well throughout the entirety of the movie. And I, as an artist, as someone who's keen on character development, really liked that aspect of it. Instead of just being the drunk that I remember, they took Dormouse and made them knightly. They made them able to tame Bander to some degree with their weaponry. They were a double agent for Alice, and pretty much just became like a super big plot point that they weren't, in my mind, how I'm remembering it, in the original Alice in Wonderland. I had a lot of plans for Doors. Yeah, another nickname. Keep up. I'm gonna keep just shortening all the names of the characters. A lot of the plans that I had for Doors actually went through. Doors is one of the first pieces that I really just liked and fell in love with, and I was able to see it in my mind and recreate it in the mundane. So I could take something from my mind and actually like make it, and that's the first time that this has ever happened to me, and I'm actually really proud of that. The only thing that kind of changed was it's a black stick, essentially just sticking out of their side with a little like ball on it. It's supposed to be a pin. I had this elaborate plan for this beautifully intricate interwoven hand guard for their fencing sword, because in the movie that Tim Burton creates, they're a knight who definitely just specializes in fencing, and that's cool and everything, but at my skill level, even with references, I don't think I could have done what I wanted to. That said, I do plan on going back to pieces that I've done, like doors and all the icons, every 3 months, especially the icons. I really want to keep up with that. And I also want to keep up with pieces like doors that I do eventually plan to put into my Patreon and put them into a slideshow at the end of the year and just kind of have, a short, small slideshow of my progress as an artist, as a crafter, and just have projects that I just rework at the end of the year and just see, how I'm going, how I'm improving and stuff like that. And I hope all of you would be interested in something like that. I think it's nice to look back at old sketchbooks, as interesting as some of those pieces could be. It's nice to see that you're not still back there, that you're not still back at level 1 or 2 or 0 in my case. Thirdly, as I was going through this piece, I've actually already talked about this speed paint in a raw section that I've already posted as an exclusive on my Patreon. I've already talked about this piece for an hour and a half, and I learned through that process that I actually can't talk about my work in a positive light for an hour and a half, but I do want to be positive about my art because all, or at least most, artists that I know struggle with the I'm not good enough, this isn't like theirs, this isn't great, it's not my best work, this detail's wrong, stuff like that. I want to get away from that mentality. So I want to talk about a couple of things that worked out really well. You already heard about one, which is I was able to make it, which I feel is like one of the hardest things for an artist to do. I made what I wanted to. Another thing that I really liked that was different is the ears. Normally, for me, the eyes take absolute priority and precedence over everything that I'm doing. I love the eyes more than anything else, but today, the real heroes of this piece were Dormouse's ears. I loved the textures that I've added to them, and you'll get to see that later on, but it's really subtle and it was really simple and easy to do, but I liked the detailing that I put into them, and it just added more depth to the piece that wasn't too, jarring or like subtracting to it overall. It was subtle. It was what the piece needed, because I had a lot going on in this piece. One thing that I want to improve on, and this isn't being negative because nobody's perfect, we can all keep learning new things. 2 things that I want to improve on are shading, just in general, but more specifically I want to learn how clothing works. I want to know how clothing falls, I want to know how clothing layers on itself, I want to know its highlights, its shadows, I want to understand clothing, because I feel like if I understood clothing, I could really just kind of amplify some of these pieces, make them a little bit better than what they are right now, and just generally overall be happier. One thing I personally want to improve on is the sheer amount of time that it takes me to do line art. I did I did an hour and 30 minutes of talking about this piece, and most of that piece was just me obsessively cleaning line art. And I know there has to be a better way to go about this, other than me just going back and forth, skinnier, fatter, shorter, longer, different line altogether. I have to get better at that. And that's fine, and I can be upset about that, because, overall, I think it was a good thing that I did that. It was a good experience. It was a good pushing of my cleanliness, because I just wanted to give up at one point. I'm like, you know what? It's good enough. I can leave the lines as they are. No, you can't. They need to be cleaned. As we're kind of rounding up here, I just wanted to say a special thanks to Yami Kitty Cat to being my first subscriber on Patreon, so super special thanks to you. You've been a really big help. You've actually helped me accomplish my first goal on your own on Patreon, So thank you to that. Also, your commissions are being worked on today after I post this video, and thank you for the suggestion after listening to my hour-and-a-half rant of I can't talk about art, for sending me links to royalty-free music. So thanks to Yummy Kitty Cat for being my first Patreon, and also you can thank them for future videos that have music behind them, so yay! If you want to become a Patreon and see exclusive content, see videos early, get mentioned in my videos, the link's down below, and I hope to see all of you guys there. I offer some pretty cool stuff. Even if you just want to check it out, it does help the webpage get more traction. Also, thank you for watching my YouTube video all the way through. If you're in my Dungeons and Dragons groups, Kai coin to you, and I'll be talking about Dungeons and Dragons in my next video that I make for you guys. So, the Kai coin is a special form of currency that I use within my world that helps my players get special perks, and I feel like it provides more of a personal setting as opposed to just straight up by the book inspiration. I'll be talking about that and giving also a shorter my highlight reel essentially of D&D and my characters that I've played. I'll be starting with my favorite race, which is probably Tibbets, and then I'll be moving on to the other more better known races. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope very much to see you in my next one. Bye!